Like what we do? Consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the description below. And as always, please enjoy the story.
I wasn't expecting a positive reaction at all. Honestly, after Ken stormed off the other night, I thought he'd be turned off by the idea of us coming in such skimpy outfits. Seems the complete opposite. Ken's been unable to keep his eyes off me. It's very off-putting. I feel like he's watching everything I do, and I'm actually a little scared. It's kind of like stalker behavior, and I've never dealt with anything like it before. Need to lock the toilet when I go, I think, and accidentally say out loud. I go red as they all stare at me. I look away and take a long gulp of my wine. It's made even more awkward by the fact I don't ever have guests in my home. Pre-drinks are needed. I'm already making a fool of myself, so being a little drunk is only going to help dull the embarrassment. Not an issue for Cynthia. She's been flirting and giggling at every single joke Oliver makes. I'm glad she's having a good time, but the conversation with Ken has been pretty difficult. There's so many times I want to hear him gush over the fact he can't believe I'm a guy. So then, Ken says, nervously stretching his words. Have you been dressing long? Taking another long sip of wine, I shift awkwardly on the couch. These bunny costumes are so darn tight. I begin to answer but get distracted by my skimpy outfit. You uncomfortable? Ken asks. Not surprised with it all being stuffed in like that. You're pretty small, huh? Almost spitting out my drink. I stare at him shocked, then I glare. He backpedals, fidgeting next to me. I mean, you have a small body to fit into something like that. Not that you have a small, He points between my legs. This makes me cross my legs in reaction. Thinking he's trying to wind me up on purpose, I give him a dirty look. Kenneth! Oliver gleefully cheers, smacking his friend on the thigh hard. Relax, will you? Just enjoy the fact we have free booze in the company of two lovely ladies. I can't help but smirk as Ken goes bright red. He looks almost as uncomfortable as I do with the situation. And he's not the one wearing high heels. Katie, Cynthia says, grabbing my attention as she holds up a half-drunk bottle of wine. Need a top-up, dear? Yes, very much so, I answer, thrusting my glass in Cynthia's direction. As she pours me a large glass, the bottle soon empties. Cynthia peers inside the bottle. All out! She manically laughs, turning the bottle upside down. I'll go get some more from the kitchen. As she stands and wobbles on her heels, she burps and giggles. Oops! Sorry, dudes. Not very ladylike. Need a hand in the kitchen? Oliver asks, gently laughing as he stands and puts out a hand to steady her. Cynthia snatches at his hand and grins wide. What a gentleman, she says, gushing over him. A playful squeak then follows as Oliver mischievously slaps Cynthia on the backside. Cynthia giggles like a schoolgirl before stopping to look back at me. You two love birds, she says, pointing at me and Ken with narrowed eyes. Keep your hands off each other while Mommy and Daddy are in the kitchen. If there wasn't already a huge amount of tension between me and Ken, there is now. Daddy? Oliver ponders with a cheeky grin as they both strut into the kitchen. She already needs to sober up, Ken says, shifting nervously as I turn to look at him. Giving him a polite smile, I quickly look away before having a long swig of wine. The silence between us is almost unbearable. Part of me wants to get up and go into the kitchen, even if Oliver had his hands all over Cynthia. That will be less uncomfortable than this. Ken coughs and our eyes meet again. I give him another awkward but polite smile. Why bunnies? Ken asks with a nervous stutter. I look down at my outfit and look back at Ken and shrug. Who are you supposed to be? I ask, pointing at his boring white shirt and trousers. I'm Sean, he answers, pointing at the red stain on his shirt. From Shaun of the Dead. Honestly, I thought he had just come from work. Oh, right, I reply, avoiding eye contact. Looks like you've come straight from the office. I know it's not as flashy as Ollie's outfit, Ken admits, rubbing his arm. I'm just not into all this stuff. I don't like it either, I answer with a wry smile. If it wasn't for Cynthia, I'd probably not be coming tonight. I'm terrified someone's going to notice I'm not actually a woman. Best remember to go into the right bathroom tonight. Ken jokes, expecting me to laugh. I don't laugh, and his joke goes down like a lead balloon. That's not funny, I reply, giving him a dirty look. That's actually really worrying me. Oh, Ken mumbles, looking away. He looks so uncomfortable in my presence, like a lost year without his more confident friend. Kinda reminds me of, well, me. Plus, I say, smiling to lighten the mood as I pick at my tights. I've got like a Brazilian layers to take off before I can even consider going. Everything is so wrapped up. I'd be surprised it's not all been pushed back up inside me. His worried-looking face soon pulls a gentle smile. You look nice, so I guess it's all worth it, he says bashfully, going bright red. I don't know, I answer, pointing at my bunny ears. I think Cynthia found the skimpiest outfits possible for a joke. I think I look like a bad drag queen. No way, Ken quickly answers, giving me a shake of his head. I can tell you that's definitely not the case. His tone of voice sounds so honest. I mean, that's cute that he's trying to make me feel better, but I do feel exposed and chunky in this outfit. You really think so? I ask, assuming he's just being nice. Yeah, he answers, looking nervously down at his feet. I know so, because pretty girls always make my mouth dry and my tongue all twisted. Is that you saying you think I'm pretty? I ask sarcastically, holding back a smile. I've never been called pretty by a guy before. Yeah, I've had the usual attention from men on social media, but this feels so different coming from him in the flesh. Feels so affirming. I do, he mumbles, staring at his feet. Looking away, I didn't want him to see the big smile on my face. He's made me feel warm inside. That's when we hear Oliver and Cynthia come steamrolling back over to the living room from the kitchen. The two of them are laughing and giggling as they basically fall into the seating area. Room service! Cynthia shrieks, clasping an open bottle of wine in one hand. Stumbling around, Oliver laughs and helps Cynthia back to her seat. He looks flushed and bright red. Her hair was perfect, and now it looks a little messy. What have they been up to? So, Ken, Cynthia says, drunkenly leaning towards him. Oliver tells me you're a virgin. Cynthia teasingly gasps and holds her hand over her mouth. Her eyes go cartoonishly wide as she realizes she wasn't supposed to say anything. Poor Ken looks mortified. I can see him clenching his teeth and staring daggers at Oliver for telling her. The silence between us is awful. I wasn't supposed to mention that. Was I? Cynthia laughs, pouring herself another glass of wine. God, this is almost reminding me of a family get-together. Cynthia is the crazy old aunt that gets drunk and stirs the pot. Not true. Ken eventually refutes with a sour tone.
Oliver's just being a prat. Don't worry, Katie.
Oliver smirks and winks in my direction.
I've had the birds and bees talk about him. In theory, he knows where to put it.
This is exactly like a family gathering. So bloody uncomfortable. This is just like when my dad found out I cross-dress. All the awkward questions and jokes about my sexuality. I kept telling my family it doesn't matter what gender they are. No one is ever interested in me anyways. Funny. I answer sarcastically. Is that because you've let him put it in you? Cynthia instantly perks up. Have you two really? Cynthia asks, looking at them both repeatedly.
No,
Oliver denies, giving Cynthia a nervous smile.
he'd never have a chance with a guy like me.
Shut up, Oliver, Ken grumbles. This is so awkward. I sip my wine hoping a fight doesn't break out. Oliver says, reaching for his phone.
Taxi's here.
My heart races. This is really happening. I'm about to go out dressed like this, as the plus one of some guy I've just met. Ken stands and holds his hand out to me.
You want to hold my hand for support?
He says softly with a friendly smile. Taking hold of his hand, he pulls me to my feet. Standing in my heels, I feel my muscles tense up. Thanks, I say, using him to balance. Ken leans in, nervous. He whispers in my ear. I give him a worried expression and nod. Me too, he answers, guiding me every step.